Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 9 of the Tricks and Traps Speedrun. So, I am coming into today rated 943, and hopefully we'll have another fun, instructive day of tricky and trappy chess. Before we hop into the chess, just friendly reminder, if you haven't taken advantage of the promotion this month, you can click the link below, chessmood.com/Rosen, and get access to hundreds of hours of their very high quality video courses completely for free through the end of the month. So I hope it brings people some value. And let's hop into the first game for this episode. Okay, first opponent, playing Malek, and I'm going to play e4. And I have been reading a lot of the YouTube comments, a lot of people suggesting different openings and gambits. My opponent is actually playing the Busch-Gass gambit, allowing me to take the pawn. Let's go ahead and take the pawn. Maybe it'll transpose into a reverse Stafford. The opponent just wants to checkmate me with queen takes f2. So I'm happy here to expand in the center, block the bishop, and attack the bishop. Oh. To be honest, I kind of forgot that was hanging, but I'll treat it as a counter gambit. Let's play bishop e3. Yeah, maybe d4 was not the best move there. I have to go back and analyze after the game. It's still looking good though. I'm a bit more developed. The queen's in the center. Black counterattacks my knight, so if I take and then take, I think I'll start with knight d2. Just a simple developing and attacking move. And this is one of the drawbacks of bringing out the queen early, is it can very easily be attacked by lesser valuable pieces. Now the move I want to play is bishop c4, but then queen takes g2. And then I take on f7, king f8. Gets a little bit murky there. A cleaner option might be knight takes f7 immediately, because if king takes f7, I develop and pin. And if queen takes f7, then I take, and yeah, it should be a very good position. And there's also c4. But then queen e6. All right, let's go for this. Try and destroy the black king as quickly as possible. And queen takes f7 is probably the best move, but okay, black blunders the queen. And now gives more material, so yeah, this should end pretty soon. Still takes a little bit of work. Could play queen f4, queen h4. I'll play queen h4. With queen f4, there's knight f6. And the goal here is just to probably castle and bring in the rooks. E-file's nice and open. Okay, I do have a tactic here. Knight takes d6, attacking the king, but also attacking the knight, winning a pawn in the process. Win another pawn. Yeah, now it's about hunting down the king. If the king moves back, I have rook d8 checkmate. The king moves forward, so let's bring in the bishop. And now the queen. It's getting closer. f3 with a fork. But more importantly, where's my mate? Bishop f2. Or g3. Let's play g3. If takes, it's double checkmate. Okay. Not a common mating pattern you see every day with the pawn and the rook helping to checkmate the king. But okay, so this was me encountering a gambit, and Yeah, I played d4 kind of instinctively, understanding that f2 is attacked, but forgetting e4 was attacked. Ironically, d4 is actually the best move according to the engine. White should be happy to give away the pawn and basically go for what happened in this game. If I wanted to, I could have defended both pawns with queen e2 or queen f3, which are also better for white. But yeah, I guess the benefit of d4 is white is able to accelerate development. And then going to this moment, the engine actually prefers bishop c4. Knight takes f7 is still good for white, but bishop c4, queen takes g2. Oh, wow. So white has only one winning move in this position, which I don't know if I would have found even if I had like several more minutes to think. But it's a cool move. White can play queen h5, sacrificing the rook. And actually, if queen takes h1, white can play king e2, sacrificing the other rook. But white's threatening mate in 2 with taking on f7 and queen f8. So here, this could have been a nice finish. And if pawn g6, then bishop takes f7, and white is just destroying black. Anyway, fun game to start the episode up to 9:51. Let's keep it going. Playing all-time chess 2025. And I'll play e5. Oh, do I play the Busch-Gass Gambit myself? Let's do it. There's a chess YouTuber, FM William Grafe, who has made a lot of videos teaching this gambit. And there's a cool line where if white takes a pawn now, I can play knight c6, which looks absurd because I'm hanging f7. I think objectively this is better for white. Like knight takes f7 forks me. The point will be if white grabs the pawn and forks, then I have a counterattack. Bishop takes f2. King takes f2. And we're going into it. And then knight takes e4. And this is basically complete chaos. I analyzed this a little bit with the engine a while ago. I don't really remember the specific engine lines. I just remember that black is supposed to save the queen and go for some mating attack. Probably queen f6. Because then I'm threatening queen d4 with force mate. But there's also some argument to play this. Opponent's wanting to chat with me. Opponent, people don't see it, but opponent shared some thinking emoji. Maybe trying to distract me or, yeah, what to do. Maybe queen f6, queen f3, queen d4. That actually looks reasonable. Okay, GG. White did not play the best defense there. Took the rook a little bit too quickly. Yeah, I'll maybe have to link William Grafe's video below because he does have very deep analysis in these lines. And okay, we see the eval bar in white's favor, but not so much in white's favor. Only plus 1.38. Okay, Stockfish prefers queen h4 first. Provoke g3 and then move back. So maybe this is a weakness. Ah, because white doesn't have queen f3 anymore. There's queen f1. And then d5. Yeah, it probably gets even more complicated. In the game, yeah, white should have played queen f3. I was calculating check, then queen e3, and at least I win the bishop. Ooh, but yeah, if I take the bishop, there's d3. Ah, but then I can take the knight. So white would have to take the rook. And this is winning for white according to the engine. Anyway, I'm not sure how much I'll play this opening more in this series, but it's a fun line for people that want some early chaos in the opening. Okay, up to 1960. Let's keep it going. Black again. G3. Okay, against G3, let's play H5. It's one of the only first moves where H5 is justifiable. This is called the Lasker Simul special. I think there's some stories of the famous world champion Lasker playing this in Simuls against his opponents. So of course the idea is to pressure the H file. I don't think I can really punish white immediately. So let's just develop, probably pawn d5, control the center. Maybe prepare pawn h3 now that my bishop's unleashed. For example, knight f3 is a normal way for white to develop, but then pawn h3 would force bishop f1. I'm not entirely sure what to expect from white. And if takes, then I'm happy to recapture with rook, and then the king side is a bit weakened. I mean, maybe white can take, and then knight f3. But going forward, the plan is just to control the center, develop the minor pieces, try and make up for violating opening principles on the first two moves. Opponents taking their time, up over a minute. I think if I were white, I would consider bishop g5, try and make this pawn go away. But we see knight f3. Also, bishop g5, maybe I could play f6 and try and trap the bishop. So let's go for h3. And I did lose some time moving my h-pawn, but I think it was time well spent, because white's lost a couple tempi with the bishop. And I'll play knight c6, preparing pawn e5. Control the center. Okay, now bishop g5. But here I'm happy to play f6. I know there's Grandmaster Ben Feingold's famous saying of never play f6, but there are cases where f6 is very well justified. And now it's a question how to keep developing. I mean, bishop c5 maybe. Yeah, let's play bishop c5. I'm not sure if my knight wants to come to e7 or maybe h6 and then g4. So knight h4. That's interesting. It does obstruct the rook from supporting the pawn, but my bishop also helps defend the pawn. It's kind of tempting to sack the exchange, but I think I'll hold off for now. Let's just keep developing. Knight e7. Preventing knight g6. And maybe preparing pawn g5. So pawn e4. And the d-pawn is well defended, so I don't have to take any immediate action. In situations like this, it is worth considering taking and pushing and doing something else. I mean, g5 is still looking pretty attractive. Knight d4 also comes to mind. There's also like take and eventually queen d4. I don't think that's so effective though. Okay, let's start with g5. Grabbing more space, attacking the knight. Expecting knight f3. I guess white could consider counterattacking. And then I'll have a decision to make. Do I take on d5? Do I take on h4? Do I move the knight? White's taking another think here. I am trying to calculate the possible forcing lines. Like if knight f3, I could push either pawn to attack a knight and gain more space. I'm a bit reluctant, though, to play d4 because it blocks a bishop. Makes it harder to break through in the position and get to the king. I'm still not sure what I'll play against pawn takes pawn. Like takes and takes, and then takes and takes. That might be a better transformation for white. Like knight takes d5 is probably the most normal move. It would allow knight g6, but then the knight could maybe get trapped with rook h6. So still feeling very good. Wow, knight f5. I was not having this move on my radar. I think this is just a free pawn. I could take with knight or bishop. Not sure what I want to take with. It's really a question, which piece do I want to preserve? I think I'll take with knight. Having the light squared bishop is nice, especially as the position opens up a little bit. Pawn is still very well supported. The plan is probably to castle queenside. Okay, queen f3 hits this and this. But it looks like I can counterattack with knight d4, defending, attacking, and attacking c2 as well. And now I could take on c2, winning some material. I am briefly considering bishop g4, because that would be a mate threat. I mean, there's a lot of ways just to win material here. My bishop is hit on c5, so maybe I can take first. What's the best way to do this? And this is maybe the trickiest move, bishop g4. Because I'm also then threatening like this or this. All right, let's play bishop g4. Oh no, my bishop. Also, oh no, my pawn. Two poisonous free things that white can capture. White probably has to either take or play rook c1. There's also bishop e2, but then I can take the queen and then win the bishop. Okay, I'll take with rook. Get another piece into the center. White defends. So now, I mean, knight f3 looks quite nice. Trying to calculate though. Knight f3, king d1. I'll win at least a pawn. Did want to win more, but I'm already up a pawn, so winning another pawn should be more than enough. Yeah, any knight move is check. So taking h2, or taking f2 even. Or even taking the bishop and then taking f2. The choices. Let's take on h2. Because then this gives me the passed h-pawn. I'll take on... Okay, my knight's attacked. I could play knight f3. Or I could take first and then knight g4. Actually, knight f3 might be a bit better. Then the bishop supports the knight. White's still a bit kind of passive. There's not too many squares for the pieces. The king is completely stuck. Bishop can never take because I take back with a fork. There's knight e4 or bishop e3. All right, I think I'll just trade. Gain some space, defend my bishop. Also preparing e4 to cement my knight on f3. So white plays e4. It's important to keep in mind that I do have this pawn majority. It's basically a 3-on-1. At any time I can play h2 and get a little bit closer to queening. I take with e or g. Probably take with e. Now there's 3 connected pass pawns. That's a good move, threatening this and this. So I do have to be careful. I think I'll just take the knight. It's like white's one active piece. So just get rid of it. And then I'll play h2. And white's still stuck. Like the bishop and king can't, like the king has no legal moves. The 2 legal moves for the bishop are not good. c4 is probably one of the best tries. Let's bring the rook in. Idea of maybe rook g3 to g2 or g1. And now I have knight to d4 with the fork and the discovery. So I'll be winning the bishop. Now threatening rook takes d3. I don't want to lose my h-pawn, so let's just move back. It would be a very fitting ending to queen my h-pawn, given my opening moves, h5, h4. I'm basically just getting ready to push the g-pawn, or the f-pawn. I'll start with the f-pawn. Now the g-pawn. Oh, there's a funny mate. King e3, knight f5, king f2, and then pawn g3 checkmate. Where all the pawns play a role. Are we going to see it? King f4, okay. Yeah, king f4 is a better try. I'll move the knight to h4, threatening knight g2. Oops. Wait, that was a huge mistake. Oh, wow. Now if I play this, there's takes with check, and then I lose my rook. What did I do? I got a little bit careless. I have knight g2. I think it's still... Is it winning? Knight g2, take, take, take. I think it's still winning, but barely. Yeah, that was really careless. I was lost in my fantasy of delivering the pawn checkmate. Yeah, thankfully after this move, I do see one win for black. It might be the only win. It's to queen the h-pawn. Actually, is this winning? f2. No, f2 takes with check and then king g2. No, but it's still winning. Wait, this might be even stronger. At first I thought h1 is winning, because after takes f2, but then there's king g2. And I would win back the exchange, but then I'm down a pawn. So I think I have to play this. Let me just be extra sure. f2, rook takes bishop, king d8. And then white can't stop both pawns. Because king g2, I'll queen one pawn, then queen the other pawn. What a finish. Almost let this one slip. King d8, very strange position. I had just enough pass pawns to get the job done, and it is the H pawn that ultimately queens, so that was my plan for move 1. Finally worked out. And let's clean up, take a pawn. I do want to give kudos to my opponent, though, for resisting, not resigning. I think we got a position where a lot of players would just resign. And this game has really gone the full distance. I get some fork. There's rook f4. Yeah, let's just make a pass pawn. I could sack, but no reason to just yet. Give a check. I'll win this pawn. Now I'll sack. Make sure the king can't come back to resist. Oops, meant to play king there, but not the most terrible mouse slip. Very important not to stalemate. Important to cut the king off on the second rank. And I'll play this. And checkmate. Okay. Made it to 969. That was a fun game. Very important lesson that game to not celebrate too early and to stay awake. Got very careless on one move. Thankfully, it didn't cost me. Yeah, the opening was nice. One material. Okay, maybe it was better just to go after the rook right away. Engine prefers takes, and yeah, I could have went into this line and then I'll take back on a8. It's not easy for white to win the knight so quickly. But I tried to be tricky, bishop g4. Got a winning position. Taking on d5 is fine. And I just want to see the engine evaluation when I blundered. Yeah, it's still completely winning for black, but knight h4 was not the best move, allowing king takes g4. Better would have just been pawn g3, allow this, and then pawn g2. Yeah, thankfully I was able to find the way to win. I think it was an only line. If I don't find knight g2, it is losing for black. And if I don't find f2, then white will be coming back. So, some fun games. I think I only played 3 games so far, but I think I'll end it there. And then next episode, I'll try and break 1000 elo. So hope you guys enjoyed the games today. If you have questions, leave them below. Don't forget to take advantage of the Chessmood promotion, chessmood.com/Rosen, to get access to some very high quality video courses for the rest of the month. And I'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.